you folks, Quilly here, and welcome to the start of a brand new Songs of Six series. The last episode of the last series hasn't even gone live yet, but I can't stay away. I'm so excited to start a brand new run of Songs of Six. I really enjoyed the last one. Lots of learning that went on over there, but hopefully we can apply it this time. And yeah, random game. We're gonna start standard difficulty, Despot. We're still gonna play on that, and this time, rather than being focused a lot on internal building, we are going to be, let's say, externally focused elves, as in we're going to be doing some warfare, I think early, I think often, maybe because we need some extra snack food around the place. Certainly we don't want to live with any of them. I don't know if the hates other species. I don't know how that applies if you've got prisoners of the jobs kind of thing. We might really lean in heavily on the monoculture here. One of the things I want to focus on, so in addition to starting the warfare and the research earlier, I really, and this ties into the research thing, I really do want to try to focus mostly on a smaller number of industries. Even though the trade situation doesn't sound like it's anywhere near as strong as it used to be, I can see the advantage of specialization for research and for nobility that will do that. I'm sure they're still going to be doing a smattering of things here and there, but we'll see what we can. Apparently the Tilapi are like much better at warfare. You know, high archers with excellent archers with high morale. I mean, we don't have as many frontline folks, but we've got that. The one downside is some of this, like the ranching, hunting, and woodcutters, does feel a little similar to how I started with some of the things with the humans. Of course, we did grain farms instead of fruit orchards, but we did get the hunting and wood cutting as a big thing early on, although I think that sort of fits the setting. I mean, you're gonna have to do some wood cutting, I think, at all the starts regardless, at least until you get to size 50 and can open a trade, I guess. I don't know. Wants the outdoors and wood buildings. Wood buildings is going to be really nice to work with. We're not gonna go upgrade stone buildings at any point. I'll have to check. Maybe they still like grand buildings, like the grand stone buildings, but I think they really are like all wood all the time. And what's great about them is they do seem to build very quickly. So we're going to go ahead and get that started. Our ruler name is going to be, you know what? This time we're going to go with Petra, and our faction is going to be the Hungry Elves. Sorry, I was already thinking about the E from Elves, and the extra E got put in there. You know what? This almost looks like a tree logo, so I don't hate that part. The colors, though, I don't think are right. I think I want to go with like a dark green. So if I do this and this, there you go, dark green. Do I want to go with a brighter green as before? Actually, I'm just wondering about like white. Like the white tree of Gondor. Actually, I like this. It's a bit of an off-white. That's very appealing to me. I like it. At one point, I'll have to do like a proper logo and then save it as a default. Or if someone else wants to make a... Wait, what size is this? Is this like 12 by 12? 1, 2, 3, 4. 12 by 12. How interesting. I had assumed 16 by 16. You know, just because powers of 2 is generally how it works, but there we go. Confirm. Okay, so I've got this title. Now, something that did get cleared up at some point, I don't think I ever readdressed it in my videos. I thought, oh, you know, you unlock the title for a race, and therefore it only applies to the race. But apparently, the way it works is, yes, you unlock the title with a race, but the title is available for everyone, and just the more races you unlock it with, the more powerful it gets. So we only got around to unlocking the artisan, unfortunately. But there we go. Each race you unlock this title with will make its boost more potent. So I can use it even though I'm not playing as the humans right now, and I do get an output to summer production. So that's, I mean, this is certainly going to be a thing that makes those big, giant cities a lot more viable. So hopefully we can do a few more. Breakers of chain. Well, we might have to look at some of the descriptions in game. Choose map type. I think random is fine, although some people said, like, oh, if you look, you can see more shapes of things you might recognize. So that's the southern UK. I don't know if this is something. That's just, you know, big flat ground with no oceans. There's Erp. This is this a polar view of the world? It's hard to tell. But this is Europe, Africa, Asia, Australia? Does that look right to anyone else? And it's hard to see. Then we got things that are upside down. Like, is this North America? Upside down? I don't know. Not sure what that's supposed to be. Or that. I mean, I'm trying to tilt my head. I'm like, is there any way that this is like an approximation of like Japanese islands or something? I don't think so. Oh my God, this is Scotland. Okay. Okay. That's probably something. This looks too intentional to be random. I'm tilting my head from side to side. Okay. Maybe I could have kept going right. I have no idea how long this list is, but we're just gonna go random. Generate. Okay. So I definitely want a very foresty area for this one. Although we know we're going to have to grow some orchards and stuff too. The river stuff is kind of fun too. Because we didn't have... oh, you know what? Actually, I want to go proper coastal this time. Because it'll open up more trading partners potentially. I kind of dig this idea. You know, some stone. Not much of anything else, which might end up being okay. Lack of clay. Maybe... we know it, like, everyone hates the clay stuff. That might be a better thing to trade for than anything else. We're in temperate, which is nice. And I want some open land because we have to do some farming. It'd be kind of interesting with the little bay there. And I like that it's it's not the Misty Sea is kind of nice. I don't want an inner lake. No. We could do the coast here, although I don't want any of the desert places. Sea of Cordelia. Best character in Buffy. Also, King Lear. Got stuff over there. You know what? I do like this area right over here. What about this? 22% overland. So I think we'd be doing some of the farming in the southwest, which isn't too far from the water. Part of me's like, should I start in a corner as opposed to being in the middle? Screw it. I'm starting here. Now, there might not be as many land neighbors, but hopefully the sea neighbors will keep some consistent trade. And ideally, if we could trade with people who are quite far away, that would be really handy because I'm much less likely to piss them off. So I think I'm just going to go with this. We could regenerate some more, but... and these are presumably the things that they are most inclined to grow here. I mean, there's some coal. These guys are both into fruit. Maybe everyone's got fruit as a thing. Like, there might be some optimization there, but I don't know. Let's just go. Boom, boom, boom. Generating some more. Oh, I'm so excited. I'm so excited. I can't remember the last time I was like this about a game that I just played for the first time. All right, we got some wild critters over there. Interesting thing about building here, which is sort of, it's a crossroads, so it kind of makes sense for settlement. There's no resources immediately there, which pros and cons. What the heck, we got peacocks or something? Pros and cons is that we're not necessarily gonna like land on it. On the other hand, we know we want to do some early harvesting, right? It's been so long since I started the last time the game that I was like, wait, do we? But like, I might want to go and pick up some of the wild stuff over here, and it's a bit of a hike. Like, it could start in this upper area. We'd have a little bit of wild fruit to start with. I could even just hunt the wild entelodonts early on. Even if we depopulate them, is it a big deal? I don't know. I kind of don't hate this. Some fruit there, fruit there. I mean, we're going to presumably have to go and collect this once to start the fruit harvest. And then one of the things is I don't know if we're doing orchards. I don't know if it wants the same ground fertility as for farms. Because, like, our foresters needed different fertility than our than our farms, and our ranches cared about moisture, but not the fertility the same way. I think. I don't know. Maybe it's crazy, but I kind of love the idea of starting right over here. So I guess we're gonna do it. Pardon me. I could literally put it in the middle of this bit. I tell you what. I'll put it along the straight area over here. Can I rotate this? I cannot. That's a little unfortunate. Boom. Okay. Landing party's in place. Now, there's a very good chance there's not going to be a lot of city construction in the first one, because the first thing I want to do is take a good look at the Tilapis and see about understanding them. The Tilapis were created in aeons past to guard an ancient and mighty barrier forest, the border between the granted dominion of the Astari children and the forbidden lands beyond. Created for this purpose, Tilapis are extremely territorial and quick to pass judgment. However, they are blessed with great compassion for Six's flora and fauna. So... is this just where they're normally found? I wonder, rather than actual biome preference, maybe? But we've got that, and yet we don't really get along with anyone. Our primary religion is this one. There's no name in the tooltip, but it's primarily that one. We'll get a smattering of other followers of some of the others. Looks like might just be cut off on the insect one because the numbers are identical to the other. But okay, we like meat, we like fruit, we like eggs. We're really going to focus a lot on fruit, but it would be nice to go and do the others. They only like one drink, the Shetta, which is more the liquor than the beer, so that's okay. Buildings, so they're fine with just outdoors. How do you make a building outdoors? Just not put up walls? But then you do lose the insulation value. I wonder if there's something else involved in that. But you can see the wooden buildings have the 5 pips over here, which by far dominates everything else other than outdoors, which is the same here. So we can just make everything out of wood. That's going to be okay. They like ponds as opposed to pools when we do get to the pool type. And dirt road, they actually have a triple tick on it. Unless we get all the way up to cobblestone or forest plaza, they're actually pretty fine with dirt roads, which we might just stick on until the very end when we really want to push the roads a little bit more. That is some resource saving right there. Various furnitures that they're going for their housing, fine. And then, yeah, I'll have to figure out the retirement thing at some point. I mean, the likings here, interestingly enough, they don't like wars. We're going to do warfare. I don't know if that's the same thing as having a war, or we'll just have to end the wars very quickly, perhaps. And then, yeah, there's a thing. So I think the updutes are they're good at, and the green bar is their fulfillment, I think. But yeah, they love working in fruit orchards, and they're good at it, 140% skill thing. But yeah, all the ranching is kind of cool too, which is nice, and the wood cutting they like. They don't like any of the mines, that's fine. Most of the people don't really like that. And then some... I don't understand. Negative fulfillment on laboratories. The laboratories maybe they have jobs for maintaining it. And I get why it wouldn't be a very popular thing to do. Although I don't think it's going to employ a very large percentage of our population. Okay. I think I've got a bit of an idea of what to look at over there. Our 10 initial pops, they're going to be great. We can set up the stockpile. And, well, that's probably the first thing. The starter stockpile. And then straight into fruit. Well, I don't know that we can do a fruit orchard until we've got some fruit. And did we got sent with any? Well, I guess we don't have the numbers there because it's not in a stockpile. But if I check here, yeah, we do have some. Farms. Yeah. So there's fruit farm and fruit orchard. Which our people prefer the orchard. Production 2.8. So the orchards also produce more. I wonder what the difference is. Maybe there's a rate. Maybe there's a setup with the orchard. It takes a long time to get productive. There it is. And is sensitive to lack of labor and events. Produce more than farms after the investment. Less reliant on fertility. So like if I just go and do this, there's a soil quality thing. Which they still want the brighter colors, presumably? Or... yeah, there we go. Okay. So they still want these areas down here. Which is pretty far. But I might have like more little pockets or... oh, they want it in the farm areas. The forest areas. Okay, that is what I was expecting. Now, one thing I'm wondering about is... wow, the red dips over here, or dots. I'm wondering... what is the biggest size you can make? Okay, it doesn't seem like it has maximum specific dimensions. But 46 by 46 is too big. And even the 46 by 45, there's some red. 45 by 45 looks like it's fine. I'm wondering... is that a good size to be basing our blocks on? And really make these larger blocks. I want to go with a very different housing layout. I mean, first of all, things are going to be a little different because the Tilapis care about roundness, right? Pretty sure they cared about roundness. So we're going to have a slightly different housing structure, which is going to have room for that sort of thing. 99% soil. I'm going to call that good enough here. Now, this... right, I was going to say, why don't we have a farmer count yet? Because it's based on these. Now, I might not want to do the Giga one to start off with. Not so much because, of course, I can take down the number of workers, but just because it's going to take forever to clear. I do want this happening pretty quickly, though. Should I just do this in plan mode? I might. So, tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to place... Oh, storage only comes on one side. That's interesting. Should I do one in every corner? I'm going to put... Oh, you can only have one storage. Okay, well, I'll put it in there, and that'll be fine. And it's the same size as the trees, which is kind of nice. Because what I can do... Oh, that's interesting. Doesn't actually completely fit here. Nor there. Can do this. That's as much as I can sort of fit into this 45 by 45 block. And ultimately, this could host 51 farmers. And I don't know what kind of ratio we're going to have between people actively working in the food industry versus population, but I bet you this could sustain a pretty large population. Moisture is 100%, so I think you can push it a little above 100% with irrigation, but we clearly don't have to worry about it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and lock it in. It needs 600 fruit as well. We're still paused, right? Yes. But I'm going to suspend this. Don't build this immediately. But I will build a small orchard, and I think what will end up happening is we'll probably trash it later. What does the purple represent here? Yeah, soil's no good. A little closer to home. This looks nice and bright white background. Soil 110%, not maxed out in moisture, but okay. And then... Why didn't anyone tell me I was building a vegetable farm? Anyway, there we go. That's why the color coding wasn't exactly what I was expecting. Because if I do this and say that, storage is only one side. Okay, that's actually slightly annoying. Hold on. Yeah, I can't make it bigger or smaller, so I'll put a storage in there. Tree. Okay, so yeah, I was thinking the size was, I was looking at the wrong size here. There you go. So just 3 trees, a little bit of storage. It doesn't really matter. Just get this sort of going a little bit. One farmer exactly, interesting. And yeah, take 12 of the fruit that we've got in our storage and just start working this. And then we'll tear that down later when we go and do this. But I think that's going to be a fine start. Now, oh, here's another thing. And actually, let me go and be in planning mode. One of the things I didn't like last time is that I started the idea of this grand boulevard, and then I ended up accidentally building my thing in the wrong order because I wasn't looking quite right. So I kind of want to go and draw a bunch of dirt roads now. That'll be that. Part of me is wondering, like, okay, well, if this is here, do we have to go and use this part of our structure? I don't know, like, where our farming stuff is happening might be on its own grid. Maybe our city itself is on a different grid. And I know there's some roads here already, but I think the plan's going to be roads, and we're on dirt roads now, which turns out is fine. So if I had like the 3 wide walkway and the 3 wide walkway, this leaves us 3 in the middle for some extra decoration and stuff like that. I think my original boulevard was a little wider, but the reason I was thinking this is because if you look at the throne room, like I could just do something like this, right? Some long distance down here. That's going to be one thing. And so this is 9 tiles wide, right? Yeah, 9 tiles wide. And what if I plan the same sort of thing? So 9 tiles wide, and we're still in planning mode. This is basically just drawing. It'll maybe annoy me that it's here is the only downside. I almost want the RimWorld planning, like just drawing tools. But on the other hand, this Ghost Road is going to be really Ghost Mode Road is going to be really nice because then I can just go and activate little clumps of it because it's not like Dwarf Fortress where this is all one object, right? I can say immediately something like, okay, let's activate a job and get a road that goes down to here because we're going to need to send people in this direction. Dirt roads don't take very long to build, right? And then I might be like, okay, and then we'll do a similar thing kind of like this. And then, okay, if I do this, that means this Grand Boulevard ends at the throne room, which is kind of cool. On the other hand, do we want it to continue? Probably, but maybe what we do is we have this T-junction, and then I have a few regular blocks of some size, right? So we have, that is the wrong tool. I want to be in dirt road mode. I think we're still in planning mode. Oh, is that what this is? Oh, that's path usage. Never mind. All right, we do this. We do this. And we could have the Grand Boulevard just continue after this. Because the thing is, there's going to be objects in the middle here. So most of the people are going to be walking on the outside and then kind of skirting around. And then we can have more objects in the middle. To the point where maybe what I do is I actually do something like that. Continue the Grand Boulevard. Trim this back to something like that. And like that. Now the problem is, like, the temple's not terribly impressive. Or the temple. The throne room isn't terribly impressive to me. But it's fine. I don't know if people do something else with these and like do some other production for it later, but I kind of like this. I think I can probably do something like assume we'll have a road that goes out kind of over here. That's probably fine. I'll have to activate some things later. Do I set up a few early houses? I don't know. I guess what I have to remember is, you know what we need to start off with is we need the... How do we harvest? Is it just cancel or is there... I can't remember. Is there a harvest? Did I tell people to pick up the rock? It was just removal? Is that all it was? Oh, it's been so long. All right, there's a woodcutter. Oh! Forge, hunt, fell tree, that's what it was. Clear all, which would just be the rocks and the trees. I mean, what I could do is I could actually, in this area, do a little clear all right in the central area, because we may need some rocks early on. Mostly what we're going to need is some wood, which we are going to get some from cutting that. But I could probably be like, okay, you're probably already doing it anyway, although not that bit. Go ahead and cut down those trees. We don't need an infinite amount right now. And while I'm at it, I may as well put a forge. And I'm actually wondering, should I just do a full map forge? And just when the season comes, people are going to go and grab things. Maybe I'll have to remember to do a cancel of it. Yeah, edible vegetation. Ooh, that is laggy. But there you go. And then what I can do is go back and these various vegetation bits later, like that. I can just cancel some of the harvest on those things when I no longer need it. Okay, and then where do I want to put my very first stockpile? Do I want to have it near the city center? We know we're going to need a stockpile here for the fruit, right? And later on, probably it's going to be a stockpile just for fruit. But what if, despite the fact that the throne is here, what if I set up the initial little bit of our city over here? We're going to need some housing near our orchards. That seems fairly reasonable to me. Okay. So we'll set up a warehouse. And I really think I'm going to try to make things mostly without internal pillars as much as possible. I suspect I can't do this for the installation. No. We'll just go and set... That's not the button I wanted. We'll set up something like... Oh, that's still only 92%. I'm somewhat surprised. Okay, then, tell you what. Just have the door on the top, because people leave the orchard maybe and end up over there, and that might be okay. And then we'll set up some crates. There and there, and then there and there. There we go. And that's a fine start. We'll hit OK. Now this has to be gone into activate job mode because that's going to be quite important. So, oh, my tree chopping. Oh, and my harvesting. I didn't realize all the harvesting commands were also in planning mode. Okay, well, I'm going to turn off planning mode now. What I may do is box select activate later and then redo the... Hold on, just kidding about the roads and put them back on suspend. Yeah, hopefully I remember to do that. Right, they're going to go and bow and pledge fealty. And then already some other people want to come in. I don't know about that. My fiercest, sorry, can't say it. That my title. Surely must honor Krator more. Okay, you want shrines, you want homes. You want clothing. You want some fabric for your home, which you don't actually have yet. Okay. And yeah, you're going to do a little bit of road work, which isn't necessarily the worst thing ever. Although, you know what? Tell you what I'm going to do is I will go and suspend that. Do build the road towards down here, because I think that's going to be a pretty good movement speed boost. I mean, there's not a priority system for me to be like, listen, build this first. But in theory, this is okay. And yeah, I'm going to go and accept some new people immediately. In fact, I'm going to go and set, listen, you can get me all the way up to, I'm going to say 55, just for the extra buffer, to try to get maybe the trade going soon-ish. But yeah, auto accept for the moment, because you guys will be fine. Warehouse, fruit orchard, good. And we've got a room for our boulevard set up. And yeah, I don't know what kind of space is here. I think if we're going to do regular city blocks, it might just be on the more the north side, you know, or east side over here, rather than this side. This might be more. This might become a good like industrial place. The problem is you don't want your houses to be too far away. Also, I guess I could have added some roundness immediately. Cancel. Cancel all this. Oh, and remove the walls. I might end up rebuilding a little bit of this, but hold on a second. I forgot to account for roundness. So what's very peculiar, for those of you who didn't see the other playthrough, is roundness in the game is very bizarre. So first of all, what am I talking about for roundness? I think, is it under environment? Yeah. So the Tilapis want their buildings to be round. Right now, everything is square, and it makes them... Well, it's not that so much they hate squareness, but they're unhappy about the lack of roundness. So we need to make round buildings, and round buildings are weirdly not as round as one might think in this game. If I just pause for a sec, drag out the 7x7 area, redo these crates, chunk, 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 and then redo the door, like so. Okay, 100%, good, good, good. And then if we go back and just... All I want to do is add some extra walls. Do I... Oh, shit, and we're doing mud. That's not what I wanted at all. Oh, I guess I can do that now. I mean, you know what? Maybe this is really good that we spot that. There you go. Making a wooden building. Thank you. Can I not just add a wall? Expand room. Expand room. Shrink room. Auto build walls. Oh, am I? Nope. Okay, well, I guess I'm just gonna go and do this. And then go and add the walls. I wonder, there might be something I'm missing there. But anyway, weirdly enough, if I did this, this would count as a very round building. Because I guess what it is, it's at the corners, it checks for diagonal connections, and that's what it considers roundness. And weirdly, some buildings that look more round don't count as being round. Oh wait, with that, we can also say, listen, you can fell any trees that are there. So started the job, then cancel it, and there we go. And then we could add some roundness to this building too, but maybe I won't worry about it too much. As long as there's enough roundness around, no pun intended, I think that'll turn out to be okay. Get these, and then we'll build housing afterwards. And yeah, I'll have rations, fruit, livestock. Oh yeah, we will want to get some livestock soon, because we don't want that to decay. And they love ranching. They love all ranching except one thing. Might be, was it the bugs? Maybe. Not so much their thing. And we can even fill in with a little bit more road around a few of these places here too. Or, you know, it's a great place for a little decoration. Because I'm assuming they want a lot of nature decoration. We can fit a few of those in there, and that'll be lovely. Okay, so you're here. We'll put on this auto mode. And for settings, so rations, this, because we might go and grab some from the ground. The grain as well, just because there's some wild stuff sitting around. Herbs and opiates. The livestock that's in there. Maybe there's some loose stone we'll pick up. I'll grab a couple of things of wood. And then, hold on. I thought there was one more thing I'd want to enable because we might get it on the surface. The hunting. Oh, the meat. I don't know if we have any yet, but we might hunt some meat early on. That's another good source of food. And then I think I'll probably switch it over to leather later anyway. And then we'll probably construct some furniture fairly early on. So I'll set that. I still have a bunch of crates left over. Just want to move what we've got right now. I might go and add some more crates pretty quickly, actually, but that's going to be a fine start. Go. Any pops? Growing it too fast, maybe? I don't know. Lots of wood. Some of it's just sitting around, and that's okay. We don't actually have to haul everything into our warehouse right now. We did have some stone. But you know what? Actually, maybe I will go and updo this, because the wood in particular is liable to rot out. Stone, less so, but maybe I'll still put it in there. What's left in here? Some stone and some wood. Okay. And with our size 1, 240 wood. You know what? I'll do 4 crates of wood. Because I think as we construct, there's going to be a lot that happens, and we'll need to pick it up, and we don't want that decay. All right. Do I want to set up a hunter immediately? I think so. And if so, where? Well, I think we'll continue the idea of, like, this is our little starting area. And I might build a little hunting cabin right next to this, right? We've got some woods, we've got some orchards, we got a warehouse, a little hunting cabin right over here. Feels pretty decent to me. So... Oh, and then how do we want to go and leave space? I'll leave a little 2 tiles over here. We'll have to do this because of the little pointy bits I'm going to add in. And again, 7x7, which I might just be able to do a lot of sort of copying of the outside. I don't know. And for this... Oh, we might want to immediately move to... Oops. Big enough to fit the full number of thing. Well, that's if I'm going to keep this hunter over here. Which, actually, if this becomes more urban sort of over here, I kind of still like this. So yeah, I think what's going to happen is we are going to extend. I'm going to shrink it in a second. But I'm going to extend this because what I'm looking for is enough room for 15 or maybe 16 workers. Only added 1. That's interesting. Okay, 16. So I think there's, if after 15 there's a bit of a diminishing return, but 16 is a nice number. And then we need to add a bunch of utility stations. %. Okay. And then can I shrink here? Yes, you're good with that. Good. I could shrink a little bit more there, but I think I'll do this. Okay, so that's going to be enough room. We're not going to hire this many, but this is going to be the plan. And then I'm going to put a little double door there, and the one down here, and I could even leave more on the other side, but I don't think so. I think that'll be okay. Wooden building, efficiency. I think I've got everything here. Good. And then blunk, blunk. Oops. Bum, 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 bum. So there might be some squareness that comes off of this wall. Unless the squareness also comes out of the corners as opposed to the straight lines. But yeah, if we go and open up this view for shape, there you go. Blue is roundness, and then red is squareness. And our people, the Tilapi, should be very happy. There you go. Roundness is going up. So green is what it currently is. Blue is what it's going towards. So effectively we're here. Just it doesn't change instantly. Building. I guess they like being in buildings. Just a preference. They like it because of the wooden building. So that's good. Road pref. I mean, I guess they're not spending that much time on roads right now, right? We have some plans. We have a little bit of road here, but they're not actually going and encountering these dirt roads so much right now. But yeah, it doesn't take any material to build that. So that's going to be nice. And lots of odd jobbers. Actually, we might end up employing a ton of hunters immediately. Meat is one of the things we like. Well, yeah. Okay, that could be. Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a pause in here. I think I like this. And then I'm going to think about what I want the first sort of housing design. Now, we might do a smaller little housing design over here. One of the things I'm thinking as well, right? In our last playthrough, I ended up with the structure that I kind of stole, right? Which was, as a reminder, with the longhouses, was basically this 5x5 block. Then I think it was like a building kind of like this, and then sort of a triple gap. I'm sure it's not, this is not what I was going with, but it was something very similar to this, right? And except squarer, because we had an inner courtyard and things like that. It was much more square. And that was kind of nice, but honestly, I don't think I made a very good use of that. And I think it's going to be a lot easier for me if instead I really go and think about just the houses without the services kind of inside them. And what I might do is interleave them. So what I think I'm going to do, and we're going to figure out like our little roundness design here, and maybe it's just going to be something like, maybe we'll do little blocks of 4 like this, because then I can go and add little tickies to each corner, right, and do that. And then maybe there'll be just gaps, right? I'll do my housing blocks kind of like this. I'll probably put them in pairs, or I don't know if pairs is exactly right, but like, let's say we have something like this. And I'm not actually going to go and do like build these because I'm not sure exactly where I'm positioned next to this road. But let's say I did this, and then I had a copy area, right? And then we left a little gap for walking. It could be really narrow for these as well, and then flare out inside. And there might be decoration, or I should check to see exactly how much space Tilapi want. They're probably fairly high on space stuff. Like, let's say we just made our housing blocks kind of like this. We can even have roads in between. It's kind of nice. And then what I could do is have a strip in here for services, and then have another set of housing on there. And I could even wrap the housing areas in a little bit of a dividing wall for the noise, right? If I have some industry here, we might want some extra walls there to do that. But the area in the middle here should be very quiet. And if this is a leisure area and people like spending there and not loudness, that does sound pretty good to me. But I'm going to think about this in between episodes, and we'll see how she goes. Folks, thanks a lot for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.